to me, from day one, the goal that we set out to solve was how do you build an SPM program or approach that can handle individualization at scale?
Yeah.
So when I say individualization, I mean, like, imagine a world where it is actually the right thing to do, where you have an individual plan by seller that updates on a daily basis. Like,
Yeah.
if you think about the enterprise today, the organizations that have tens of thousands of sellers, there's not a system that can execute on that the old way of thinking, right? Like, if you have to go in and manually program and compile a comp plan from scratch every time you need to do that, you cannot at scale have tens of thousands of unique comp plans. If you start to use the component mechanism where now I'm leveraging from a library and I have a natural language interface to kind
Yeah.
of interact, now you can build in workflows and rules. And I think this is like the example of like, okay, when we start to see an opportunity go stagnant and no activity or we start to see engagement from the customer drop, we actually want to put a timeline for a seller to say, if you don't engage with this, or if this deal doesn't close in the next 4 weeks, then your actual commission rate is going to take a 50% decline.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you wasting time on a deal that we think is not going to close. Right.
Totally.
And so to do that at scale, you have to rethink the world of of SPM. And so this is kind of where the interesting part and the role of where I think about sales compensation. I mean, to some extent, like, you think sales enablement and sales compensation, to some extent, oh, you work together as organizations when you're rolling out a comp plan, when you're educating. But in my mind, if you actually think about sales comp being the true motivator, right? Let's face it, a sales rep is working to get paid.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of ego, there's a little bit of like competitiveness that's naturally in the sales profile. So leaderboards, things like that help. But they are doing what they're doing to make money. And so if you think about the future of the sales comp team, it's really how do we best serve this customer that is the rep by engaging them and motivating them to the things that are going to help them execute their job better. And I don't think a single comp plan at the beginning of the year that does not change all year is actually the answer for how to best engage and motivate a sales team.